We are back, finally, with another episode of my California Golden Seals Draft to Galore Franchise Mode series. I apologize for the delay. Of course, if you've paid attention to the channel in the past few days, you'll know that we've been doing a couple of different things, from the roster editing spectacular ending to me starting up the Hindsight series. So, yeah, I'm sorry. And then, of course, there's the channel update, which also features polls in which you guys can help decide the new series that are joining the channel. So if you haven't checked out all of that stuff, I highly recommend you do. That said, we are good to go in terms of getting things started, getting right into this episode, and getting this team on track. We're heading into the 2036-37 season. Keep in mind the 42-43 season is the 25th year, so we are approaching the end. This is it. This is the prime years for this franchise to be successful, and we'll see what we can do. So we already have that contract offer out to Mateo Fox. Defensively, we're still set. It'll be very intriguing to see between, the Chushkin probably has a lockdown spot, but between Kolosov, Ling, McCult, who ends up rounding out that top six in our defense. Let's see there. We have 2, 3 with Vorobiev, Nicholson 4, Conacher 5, Fisher is 6. Yeah, Vorobiev is the only guy that we need to look to re-sign. It's a fairly cheap contract, so we'll give him exactly what he's looking for. And forward-wise, it's going to be very interesting. Ivanov will more than likely be coming back, but again, as I've mentioned before, and as you guys have discussed as far as him not being the guy, I don't think we'll outright let him go, but positioning him as the 3C and letting other players sink or swim on that top six is probably the best way to go for us for now. I think in general, the goal here is just going to be to sign whoever the hell we can to fill out this roster. Even someone like Novotny will probably end up being signed, more than likely. Someone like Bjorkstrand obviously won't be. And yeah, the high top six, Mats Bjorkstrand, former 7th round pick, we're going to outright release him. The low top six, Evan Jaffrey, who is a 3rd round pick, is going to be dropped. Just not a fan of that potential. The medium 9, Damian Perron, who was a 3rd round pick as well, is going to be outright released. Low elite Conklin will more than likely be signed. Low 6 Stewart. He's going to force my hand because he's a 70 overall. I think we'll end up signing him. At the very least, we'll probably end up signing all the other guys as well. And Ivani, a 76 at 25 years old, is going to be released. Another former 3rd round pick, but he's obviously not going to make it. So, as far as looking at this roster, it's fairly straightforward. We just bring everybody back. Kretschmann will get a contract. Marlowe will hopefully end up coming back. Viano is 23, 80 overall. He'll get an opportunity. Ryder McCammons, I'm going to hold off actually on he. Svoboda, Yang, and Melnick are interesting ones. Steven Moroz has to come back. 7.2 over 5 years. That's fine by me. And then there's Ivanov. So let's scroll down the list here. Back again to guys like Conklin, who needs to be signed to his ELC. Tamara is a 65, 20-year-old, so that's a little bit concerning. Walsh is a medium elite potential. Hopefully he'll end up becoming something. And Novotny, I don't think he'll ever develop. He'll more than likely just end up being one of those 76, 77 rated guys by the time he's 24, 25 years old. But we'll still try to sign him for now. We want as many options as possible. So Moroz rejects, and I think he is the only one, and indeed he is, who rejected. So it's a fairly straightforward process for us here. So in terms of all expiring, defensemen, we're golden. Goaltending, we're golden. We have $54 million to sign everybody here. So Steven Moroz, we're not going to save that much money by dropping it to a 1-year deal, but I'm still going to. Let's sign him to 7.5 for 1 year just to get him back. Yang is worth bringing back just because of what he's shown in the past, although obviously I'm a little bit concerned about how poor his prior season was. And Melnick, we're definitely going to try to save a little bit of money. He's actually kind of ballsy to be asking for as much money as he is. We're on 43 contracts. That was my main concern. whether or not we had the ability to bring everybody back, and we do. So Ryder McCammond will bring back Svoboda. I'm going to try to knock that back to 1 year. I don't think McCammond's going to accept that contract. And from there, we're looking okay. So Ivanov, I'm going to hold off on signing until the last second, and we'll give him the big money deal to help, help with that cap situation, as the majority of players have actually rejected, which is a good thing. It's going to make it easier, actually, because obviously, in terms of the big-time deals, it'll be nice to, spread the wealth a little bit. So with Svoboda, let's go up to about $5 million, I'd say, for he and McCammond each. Will go 1 year deals, and we're going to overpay Steven Moroz on a 1 year deal as well, just to not have to worry about the cap. I think Moroz and Ivanov are both going to get close to max contracts. Again, the last time we didn't do this, we ended up with some very screwed up contracts. So we'll see what happens. What is... Actually, for Moroz, let's just go 1 year, $12 million or so, and we'll give Ivanov that max contract. 10? We'll see, because I don't even know if they're going to accept it. To be honest, the game could be ridiculous enough to have them reject, and on this occasion, it did not. So Ivanov is the last guy that we need to sign, and in fairness, we should be okay cap-wise. I would hope. It's going to be a what? If I have this be a $20 million deal, about $15 million, roughly, in cap space. I don't think we're in danger of having it sign anybody, or in terms of having it screw up the cap hit. I think I'll double check what the... would it be under the legend? No, I just could have sworn. I can never remember. What's the cap floor? Team cap hit 94. Well, I mean... Team cap hit's 94, salary cap is 130, but I don't remember. I know you can see it somewhere as far as what the floor is and the minimum that you have to spend, but cannot remember at this given time. So we might sign one random veteran or two, and actually that might not be the worst idea. I forgot to re-sign our scouts. I do it every time, but that's okay. We can sign whoever is randomly there. 16 million in space. Okay, and Grenier. Ooh, that's a decent free agent class in terms of shaking things up, especially for the LA Kings with Marchand and Grenier. So that could be very, very helpful. Artemeyer, and actually, I'd want to make sure we don't get screwed over cap-wise here. So, Busby, congratulations to you. You're about to get paid a shitload of money, sir. Congrats. Of course, he's not going to play at all, and he's certainly not good enough to even threaten to be in the NHL lineup, but we do need to sign him. And let's double-check. Let's double-check the scouts. So we have seven open spots. Right. This might take longer to load than I had hoped. I'm just going to sign the top scouts in terms of overall, or at least try to. And I'll see you guys in a moment. I'm going to jump cut to the start of the preseason. All right, I made the right choice in making that jump cut. It took me a decent amount of time, we'll say, to set up this team and the scouting as well. Let me introduce you to the squad for this season. Now, again, we have the numerous options, the problem of having numerous options that could make it into this team. When you look at the AHL, McCammond, Svoboda, Kretschmann, Mayorov, Francois, Nylander, Baines, Marleau, all capable of playing at an NHL level. But we have to pick who I think might be the best, and these are the forwards. We have Ben McCauley, of course, who was our leading scorer last year, with Angelo Bachman, our new number one center. You could debate whether or not he should be a two-way or a playmaker. We're going to keep an eye out on that situation. And Steven Moroz still there. Second line is Stefan Villanelle, for obvious reasons, with that shooting category and the puck skills category, centered by Sergei Ivanov and Ralph Ricci. Third line of Robinson Melnick with Pete Garnett and Keith Hartnell. Fourth line of Kim Nylander, How the Mighty Have Fallen, Henry Yang, and Brian Borough. We'll treat this as we've been treating it over the past few seasons, making adjustments and adapting as we go along based off of who is struggling. Defensively as well, I'm giving an opportunity to some of our younger guys. Larry McPherson and Rene Francois will be on that top pairing. Second pairing of Sergei Nichushkin and Landon McCult. Third pairing of Henry Shattenkirk and Andrew Zieler, who have kind of struggled. Zieler's still a decent point total. Or at least a decent point producer. Always finishes with a decent point total. Easy for me to say, but it's time to give somebody else a chance. Åkerlund and Connor Walchuk are the goaltending tandem. Of course, in the AHL now it's Van Allen and Mateo Fox. Defensively, it's Kolosov and Ling, Vorobiev. Those top three all capable of playing at the NHL level. We also have Nicholson, Fisher, and Braxton Conacher. It's going to continue to be the same issue year in and year out. Whether or not we're using the right players in the right spot, having the personnel right, having the line combinations right, that's what it all comes down to. At the end of the day, in the last episode, if you remember it, because of course it was almost a week ago at this point, unless you're watching this in the playlist after the fact, in which case I hope you're enjoying the series. We talked about it last time out though, and then again you would have known because you get the point. We talked about sliders. Now, after a couple of discussions, sliders don't really do a whole hell of a lot. I talked about this on the roster editing spectacular, that I had been editing the rosters to try and find that editing the sliders to try and find that perfect mix of point production, goalie save percentages, and power play opportunities to get that to a realistic level to what we see in the real world NHL. And it doesn't have an effect. I can promise you that. It just doesn't. With the tests I've done, the discussions I've had with developers, thanks to my position as an EA game changer, I can tell you, doesn't really do anything. The only slider that will have an effect is the 0-4 penalty slider, but in terms of anything else, unless you're jumping into the game, it doesn't have a major effect. So, at the end of the day, whether or not we find success in this series, or any series for that matter, it comes down to the individuals and the random RNG. That's what it comes down to. Then again, random RNG, you don't need to say that because, you know, the R in random, or the R in RNG stands for random. Can you tell I'm a tad bit off my game tonight? Just a little bit. That's it. This season is underway. Whether or not the RNG will be on our side, whether or not this team can perform, will we be back in the playoffs? Will there be a disastrous result that'll see us out of the playoffs? And if we do get back into the playoffs, what will happen from there? Like I said, the 42-43 season represents that 25th year, and this is it. I mean, we have some help still coming up through the system, but it's primarily the combination of players that we have right now that are either going to lead the way or that are going to fall short, much like the previous core did. And it seems like so long ago now at this point that we, had the previous core with Fragapani and Redden. Whether or not these current players can get the job done, though, I'm certainly intrigued to see, anxious to see. We're not exactly off to a flying start right now, although the overtime losses certainly do help. Every point is going to matter. I think I'm more intrigued, if anything, to see how the division plays out. Obviously, I want to know if we're going to make the playoffs, but with the LA Kings potentially losing two of their best players, what's going to happen to this division? Is someone going to take that major step forward? And right now, I mean, it could be us 7-3-3 off the back of 2 straight wins. It looks a hell of a lot better than 5-3-3. We'll probably stop this on December 1st and take a look at what's going on around the league, as I fully expect us to lose to Los Angeles, and we did. Oh boy. North Bay not doing as well as you would have thought either, given some of the extremely high overalls that they have on that squad. But 7-5-3, Vancouver at 13-1-1, and we beat them. Go figure. Talking about a team stepping up to, claim the division title, and it looks like Vancouver is the team to beat. I said those overtime losses would make the difference. Looks like that's the case, to be honest. as apparently it's going to be a good year for rookies, which is nice. Although, whether or not, I mean, let's be honest, we're hoping we don't have a high first-round pick, right? We've continued to do relatively well in rounds 2 through, I mean, really, in every round, we've found a great player. You know, the second round has probably been our weakest round. Third round's very hit or miss, but the amount of decent players we found between the 4th and 7th round, that's been what's kept us this competitive for as long as it has. But 10 wins on the season. North Bay's turned it around. By the way, they've won 7 straight games now at this point, roughly? I just don't remember what the overtime loss was set to. We lose to Detroit. We have 1 game left in the month of November. We're at 10-10 and 3. The Coyotes are looking pretty damn good. Can we get the win? Drum roll, please. Or just show me the result. 4-3 victory in the shootout. So 11-10 and 3 as we head into December. That is not good enough for a playoff spot, but it is a fairly close race. Angelo Bachman is leading this team in points. You have Ben McCauley, 16 points in 24 games isn't terrible. The plus-minus, though, is horrific. Again, not a great stat in the real world, but for this game, you only have so much to go off of, and that second line, oh my god, okay. Okay, so Ben McCauley, it's okay. Right? Angelo Bachman, you're doing well. Steven Moreau is what happened. What happened, man? What happened? Wow. Second line, VNO, 12 points on the season, 17 for Ivanov, 14 for Ralph Ricci. Third line, 9 points for Melnick, only 5 for Garnett, 4 points for Hartnell. Jesus. Nylander, Yang, and Boro. I think I found our issue. Defensively, McPherson 5 points and a -3. 12 points for Rene Francois, a -12. Oh my god. Is it the goaltending? What is it, man? Åkerlund's been kind of meh, and so is Connor Walchuk. Right. This is obviously not what we were hoping to see. McCult's done well this season. And aside from that, that's about it. So before we look at calling anybody up, sending anybody down, I mean, the first step is to change the lines. So Hartnell's getting dropped. I think Ricci goes top line. Yep, Ricci goes top line. And Moroz is going down to that third line. Doesn't deserve any better with how he's played right now. 3 points for Yang, 5 points for Garnett, Ivanov on 17 points, Bachman, they're still good there. So the 16 points for McCauley, 12 points there, 9 points there, 9 points there. We're going to put Nylander in over Melnick, and we'll see, I guess. Just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Landon McCult has been our best defenseman this season. We only have 2 defensemen who have a positive plus-minus, and I'm going to put them on the top pairing together because why not? It's going to be Shattenkirk and McCult. And from there, let's go with Francois and Zieler, Nichushkin with McPherson. Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? Like I said, there's so many different combinations that we could look to run. In terms of AHL scoring, by the way, Kretschmann, nearly point a game, and the Doolin Narwhals are in second place in their division. So we will keep an eye on this throughout the month. We certainly need to turn things around, and perhaps we will end the episode a tad bit early, just in case we are looking kind of rough and our playoff chances are in doubt, we'll say. It's not at that point yet. There's still far, far too much time left in the season, but we need to turn it around. And you look at the struggles this year, the goaltending hasn't been good enough. Defensively, from the looks of it, it hasn't been strong enough. And offensively, we have some players who have drastically underperformed. None greater than Steven Moroz, who had 4 goals in 24 games, was it? Which is so far off of his normal production that you can't help but be concerned. That said, 4 wins out of 6 is not a terrible way to start a new month, but we do have quite a few games here, And to be honest, if we lose to Toronto, we lose a lot of that decent goodwill built up. We do beat the Leafs in overtime. North Bay, by the way, talked about them struggling. Not anymore. 23-8-1. I'm pretty sure they were 7-7-1, weren't they? I think that's what their record was. They're now 24-8-1, which is absolutely ridiculous. We have lost 4 out of our last 5 games. And I can't help but think, after these 3 games here against St. Louis, Vegas, and Buffalo, that we're going to stop the sim and double-check the team yet again. It's frustrating to see us struggling like this. We have quite a few players who are solid, at the very least, middle 6 options, if not legitimate top-line players. We should be better than this. Obviously, we're missing superstars up top, but that's because the superstars we had didn't exactly get the job done as we lose to Buffalo. So 17-15-5 as of January 1st. We are currently 3 points back of LA. Angelo Bachmann is leading this team in points. I want to look at goaltending above all else, as we've had our doubts about Åkerlund, and he has not been good enough. Gregory Konowalchuk has not played enough. So what we're going to do here is turn off auto-rotate. I'm going to make sure Konowalchuk is the starter, and we'll figure it out from there as far as whether or not Konowalchuk deserves to be the guy, or if we're going to look to call somebody up from the AHL, it would be Van Allen who would get the look, and we'll see if anything interesting happens from there. So let's see, auto-rotate, we can turn that off. And yeah, we'll control that for now, because Torsten Åkerlund, despite the overall rating, is not looking like he wants to get the job done. So this is the time to shine for Gregory Konowalchuk. If he can't take over the reins, then it's probably going to be Jared Van Allen, who's done extremely well in the AHL. Mateo Fox has also been great. I'm not going to have someone be the starter just because of their overall. That doesn't make sense. And you guys have seen it over the years and throughout NHL 19 in general. Goalie rating doesn't really mean that much. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Otherwise, Torsten Åkerlund would be closer to 930 save percentages. And of course, he would have been just a tad bit better in the playoffs. So, Konowalchuk, this is your time to shine, man. We'll see what you can do. Defensively, Shattenkirk has 3 points and is a -5. Now, he is a true defensive D-man, so I don't expect that much in terms of point totals. The plus-minus is obviously concerning. Landon McCult is killing it. He's stepped up in a great way. Rene Francois, not exactly producing at the same level as he did last year, and his plus-minus is abysmal. Andrew Zieler, not producing at the role he did last year. Now, I did change him from an offensive defenseman to a two-way, but still, he should be capable of more. McPherson's been okay, and Chushkin's been okay. The penalty minutes are a little bit more than what I would have preferred. So let's go with a Nichushkin-McCult pairing as the top of the list there. And we're going to go with McPherson, Shattenkirk, Francois, and Zieler. Down. Well, then again, we know that they don't work well together. So it's got to be Francois and Shattenkirk. It just has to be, based off of what we know works. So that's going to be the defense right now. Not to mention, someone like Zieler having power play time. It's pretty poor. Pretty poor. Let's take a look here, actually. We'll start off with Macaulay, who has 22 points and is a -17. Holy shit. Bachmann, 30 points. Ralph Ricci at 22 is looking okay. Ben Macaulay, what the hell, man. Viano with 13 goals, 4 assists. Ivanov looking pretty damn good. And Brian Boro, 12 points is okay, I guess. What's Hartnell at? 9 points for Hartnell. Steven Morose, Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do. Flat out. And I'm tempted to do something drastic, which is why I'm going to end the episode here relatively quickly. Andrew Zieler has not been good enough. Larry McPherson's been okay. Francois has not been good enough. Shattenkirk's just been okay. Again, if we look at the options we have down in the AHL, Pat Ling doing very well for North Bay. Kolosov doing very well for North Bay. And Vorobyov's doing pretty damn well too. I'm not against calling people up. Again, we don't have the morale system on. I do have to worry about waivers. Aside from that, I'm down for drastic changes. Keith Hartnell has 9 points. He has a good potential, but we can send him down. I see no reason as to not. Henry Yang continues to be extremely disappointing. In my opinion, at least. He goes from 30 points to, hey, look, promise, and then back down to 30 points. And now this year, I know he's on the fourth line, but he was on the fourth line in one of these seasons. I think it was this season here. It might have been the even better season. So that's not an excuse. And Robinson Melnick with 15 points has been okay, but I don't know, man. And of course, the big issue there is Moroz. So just to give you guys a look at the point totals in general, I want to also show you what's going on down in the AHL, where, again, we have Ross Marlowe, who is good enough to potentially get the call-up. Braden Baines, 19 points on the season. Again, a former second-round pick. Overall-wise, is good enough for the call-up. Thomas Nylander, who has had God knows how many chances to make an impact at the NHL level. He's still there. Jean-Francois as well. We sent him down this season. He has been extremely inconsistent at the NHL level. Vladimir Mayorov is 20, a low elite of 77. Probably don't want to call him up just yet. But then you get to Maximilian Kretschmann, who is leading this team in points, a former first-round pick. Milan Svoboda, of course, is still there. And Ryder McCammond. Let me know. What do you think? What should this team look like moving forward? Because it's clear, as we are currently established, we are not a playoff team right now. And there's so much wrong with it. Let me know what you think. And in the next episode, we wrap up the season. I was going to say finish up and wrap up. In the next episode, we fap, apparently. I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Jesus. Don't be thinking about Jesus when you fap, though. Unless it's, nope, we're ending it there. Goodbye.